It's pinned. That's all you need to know. It's pinned. Look in the pins. Oh my gosh. Welcome, my friends. Welcome. We're live, by the way.
Which channel is it pinned in?
Pendragon General.
Which Pendragon?
Pendragon General. Oh
That's
my
the
god.
non-voice channel, right?
Correct. Because you're not gonna find it pinned in. Oh my god. I'm done. I'm just done. I'm gonna start over. Welcome, my friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my god. I need fucking ibuprofen, and I've sworn at 38 seconds into the goddamn video, I'm already swearing at you, Rev. This is gonna be a new mini game of his. How fast can he make me swear? Oh my goodness. I am Omar Krieg. I am about to lose my damn mind. I am your Lord and Commander and your host. Oh, I totally fucked that up. I'm just gonna stop. This is the Krieg Dominion. We're playing Pendragon, and it's time for intros. Talus, fucking help me, man. Help me. Help me, Talus.
So on the same note of headaches, I had a migraine and extreme stomach pain this morning. Very fun. Stomach pain gone away, headache not so much. Today's food/drink is a smoothie with leftover Easter candy still.
That's the same one as last night.
Not the same one. Just
No,
Easter candy.
I don't know, man.
I'm picturing a smoothie made out of Easter candy.
Why?
No, you know what's worse is Peeps flavored smoothie.
A peach smoothie.
But it has the same texture. It still has. Oh my. What? What? Oh my god, my friend. Okay, all right, my friends. We're gonna end this stream. We're gonna come back in 5 minutes. We're gonna get this shit straightened out. I'm totally joking. We're not going anywhere. Oh my lord.
Are we talking about the same peeps, the little yellow orange thing?
Yeah.
Little marshmallow covered in sugar that comes in different colors.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Yeah. No, they're
My
not.
question in your taste in cookies is now being questioned.
Cookies is one thing.
Okay, my friends have already determined that my sense of taste and how it translates to my brain does not work right. And after having COVID, I can confirm I now have a second version of shit done fucked up.
You know, I vaguely recall at least one, if not two of you having similar comments in recent weeks about how COVID makes everything taste different. Not even just being sick, it's the post-COVID.
Rewiring your brain because it fucks up all of your nerves and it messes with your nerves in your face.
Yeah,
And
that definitely
various
explains the
problems.
tingling in the tip of my nose that I don't normally get unless I've had a bunch of alcohol.
I can fix that.
No, please, I'm good on your tentacle bleach.
Yeah, but for example, they coat things like switch cartridges in a bitterant to make people stop licking it, or make it so children don't eat it and stuff, right?
Yeah, they
I
put
can lick it and taste nothing.
they put bitterant in like canned air, so people don't try to huff it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that taste is.
Oh dear
Most
God.
bitterants don't register. Bitterants like that typically don't register real well for me.
Yeesh.
And like the running joke is me and all my friends, we happened to play a couple Switch games together. So one of them one day went, "Huh, I bet her sense of taste is so fucked up she could lick one." And I just pulled one out, licked it, and went, "Yeah, that was supposed to do something." And they just looked at me like death.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, real quick, there's another one about serial killers or psychopaths, sociopaths.
It's just ingrained in serial killers.
He just had to cut in, didn't he? But there's a like one of the common links between one of those groups of people, and I don't remember exactly which one, but they tend to not perceive or process the taste of bitter foods and drinks. So like black licorice, black coffee, and some other like I guess maybe some mustards. I don't know. But for them, like they enjoy those tastes because they don't have the same effect or receive the same input or whatever that
If I
a lot of us
recall
have.
the study correctly, it's serial killers and CEOs.
Uh,
Atypical CEO.
Yeah,
It wouldn't
no,
surprise
no,
me
that doesn't
because
surprise me either.
they've also done studies that the perception of emotional pain is also tied to your perception of physical pain.
That
So it
that
wouldn't
makes
surprise
sense.
me if a diminished sense in one provides a diminished sense in the other.
Yeah.
It's like painkillers, like just like standard Tylenol, ibuprofen, aspirin. Those guys have been shown to make a person more reckless. because their sense of pain, emotion, and decision making are impacted while they are taking the standard over-the-counter painkillers.
Yes, indeed. Because
I didn't-
pain is
I
definitely one
haven't
of those.
noticed that.
Wow. Maybe you're just not a risk taker.
I mean,
I'm talking widespread study over hundreds and thousands, over large groups of people. So on an individual basis, sometimes you won't notice. But yeah.
All right. Well, so somehow we went from Easter candy and milkshakes to
Peeps are still good.
yuck. Get out of here. Oh, speaking of get out of here, it's your turn for intros, Ro.
Have you ever put Peeps in a microwave?
No.
Yes, and it's even better.
My
Yeah,
God, what have I?
like Peeps in microwave.
Oh, I should not have said anything about Peeps. I am so sorry, my friends. I am so sorry.
I wonder if you ground down Peeps and mix them in ice cream, if you could make Peeps float.
You can't.
Okay, so
There's too much air inside the Peeps.
Oh my
So
God, this is
the
such a
other
weird
check
conversation for a game
marshmallows
about
in general
Arthuriana.
is frozen marshmallows and stale marshmallows have a different texture and taste than fresh marshmallows. I prefer my marshmallows stale or frozen.
Have you ever tried liquid nitrogen? They act like hand grenades almost.
What the?
Peeps.
What the?
I've watched a video of that, and it is indeed entertaining, but I do not personally keep liquid nitrogen on hand.
Where does? Are we even? We're nowhere near Pendragon and a little bit of intros. What the shit is going on here?
Did anybody
Liquid
hear about
nitrogen.
classified secrets that got leaked out over Minecraft?
What?
That wouldn't surprise me either, frankly.
Okay, all right. Intros, Ro. What do you got? I gotta get this back on track. Did you?
Yes.
And now that you have more hair.
And it was like 80 the other day.
I was gonna say more hair or more air temperature. I don't know which one.
Hey, I was just standing in front of the mirror earlier and realized I got cat hair caught in my short hair. Like,
Yeah, that'll do
I
it.
don't ever remember having this problem before. When my hair was shorter, like, I didn't really get cat hair stuck in my hair.
Because
Now it gets stuck in my hair.
because short hair tends to be grippy grabby and long hair tends to be, I don't know, smoothie whatever.
Smoothie one.
I don't know. I don't know.
I love your technicality.
Yeah, I'm definitely not adding hair to my peeps smoothie menu.
I mean, when you got peeps in there, you might as well.
I've heard of hair of the dog, but this sounds like hair of the cat to me.
Whoa, that
My cats
suddenly.
are adorable.
I'm sure they are. All right, Rev. Hit us with your whatever product you're selling this week.
Alright, let's see. Hello, everyone. I'm Merlin with Merlin's Emporium of Gently Used Goods. I'm here today. We have the lowest prices around. You're stupid tonight, you know. But here we have, let me see. Here we have a bear pelt, looks like. Perfect for the home to wear. Missing a head and a paw, but other than that, it looks fine. Let's see. Over here. Yes, we have the club of a Cyclops, yes. Use it for a doorstop or a conversation starter or Mrs. Kinley. It's a very, very great piece. Let's see. Over here, we have it's a piece of armor. It's a little dented and it has some green slime on it, but perfectly fine. Much right out. Let's see. And over here, we have a bow.
I was waiting. I was waiting for that.
And it looks like it's got an F carved into it. Just throw that over here. Let me see. Yes. Here we have just got the fresh batch of these swords in. If you press right here on the hilt, it glows. Perfect gifts for that rich person in your life that has everything. Get them while they're here. And tune in next week for I'm sure we'll have some new deals.
Jesus Christ. I love how you referenced all of the things that you guys have done so far. And what I caught on after like you brought up Well, once you said the bear pelt missing a head and a paw, I was like, okay, I see where he's going with this. And then you mentioned the bit of armor with green slime on it. Obviously, that was the Nucalavi. I was like, okay,
Don't
I
forget
s-
the ogre for the door stopper.
yeah, don't yeah, the giant. And then and I was just waiting. I was like, please tell me he's gonna throw in there something about Farvel. And I was like, yes, there it is, the bow with a little bit of blood on it. Let's see. Hashin says medieval napalm with a low price of 10 payments of 10 troy ounces of gold or 20 troy ounces of silver. There you go. Hashin, welcome to the stream, my friend. I am, of course, Omar Krieg, your Lord and Commander of the Krieg Dominion, and your host for this, the 14th episode of Blood and Glory, a Pendragon campaign, A Father's Pride. Let me get to my notes because I forgot what I was going to say next. Previously on Blood and Glory, we learned that a son has been born to Sir Gareth of Teesbury named Gorham. Sir Everhart gains a new house knight in the form of Sir Cadfael, who's been pressured into marrying his aunt Ronwyn after siring twin girls with her previously, although now there are quiet rumors of who the father really may be. Sir Dallin, after attempting to elevate her half-brother, hears a vicious slander regarding Sir Medwyn's fidelity, which appears to be a calculated attack on his character, rather than having any real truth. The royal Easter feast brings food and merriment for all, and the word of attacking Francia is soon learned by everyone. Lastly, Sir Gareth gathers up our heroes and suggests the forming of a circle of brotherhood for them all, as they are all related in some fashion to the fallen Sir Farvel. We made it. We finally made it to the beginning of the episode without me losing too much more of my shit or losing more hair to the color gray.
Thought about interrupting you, but I figured that might be a little in bad taste.
Just a smidge. Let's see. Yeah, so last week we did the Royal Easter Feast. We learned some things. We did some dicing type things, like rolling dice for different opposition checks and whatnot. It is now a couple, probably a few weeks after the feast. We're definitely deep into spring. Summer's on the way, which of course every year this is the campaign season. Earl Roderick has summoned all of his knights and counselors to attend to him. This is, obviously this will take place in Sarum. This is shortly before the preordained time for muster. And he expects all of his people to bring all of their people and to come to him. What's that?
You said mustard. That's spicy.
No, muster, not mustard. There is a very distinct difference between the two.
Garnishing
Yeah.
our boots.
Yes, garnish, and usually some sort of gathering, typically of a military
Yeah,
fashion.
that's still disgusting.
Yes. So as he is,
Put it on your peeps.
okay, all right. Focus, guys, focus, because Jesus Christ.
No.
He's brought everybody together. You guys have come with all your fighting forces. Earl Roderick is holding a council. He's got a lot of his knights, particularly his landed knights and his castellans. I mean, because obviously this guy's got like a lot of knights under his command. Because typically every landed knight is going to have a few servant knights, or knights errant, knights bachelor, house knights, whatever you want to call them. But basically he's got like, or hedge knight. Well, hedge knights are more like, honestly, hedge knights are more like samurai in a way. They're more mercenary than they are.
You mean Ronin, not samurai.
No, you're right. You are right. My bad. Listen, wrong continent. Okay. So basically,
I want my character to have a katana.
nope, not anymore. Katanas are straight out. Also, Japanese steel is not so great.
A wakizashi?
No, that's just a small katana. I'm waiting for it. Come on, hit me with the dai katana. Or the daichi. Come on. Those are big katanas.
I know.
Okay, alright. Goddamn. Listen, stop trying to get me off track here.
I just want a tanto.
No, that's a little knife.
I know.
Okay. Yeah, so basically the Earl's called everybody up for a council. Basically what he is getting at and what the discussion is revolving around is that the Earl has the option of choosing which direction to go for the campaign season. He has the option of going to the continent under Prince Madoc or staying in Britain under King Uther. And when he brings this up, there is a lot of back and forth between his attendant Castellans and landed knights. There's a lot of, oh, we should go to France and kick the shit out of the French because, the French are stupid and the French are this, and, maybe we should do something about that praetor. But for every bit of that, there's an equal amount of, no, we should stay here in Britain. We got Saxons on our back. We got that, the Irish are doing problem things in the west. Gorlow's barely holding out. We got those, recalcitrant kings up north. We need to stay here. And it's pretty much like just almost straight down the middle. 50-50. And after a minute, but the Daichi has PPCs available. Jesus Christ. All right, I'm getting distracted far too easily here. Finally, the Earl kind of he does one of those, he grabs his cup and he bangs it on the table to get everybody to settle down. And he notices that through the most part, through the most of what has been going on during these discussions and that is that the three of you really haven't spoken up a whole lot. And he looks to you. And he remembers, and you could tell he's having these thoughts. He remembers once upon a time Merlin saying something about, letting you have a little bit of free reign to help Britain. And he kind of looks to you guys and he's like, excuse me, he's like, what about the three of you, Sir Everhart, Sir Dallin, Sir Vitamar? You haven't said much. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I stay quiet. I just want to live the rest of my life in peace, alright? He's not saying shit.
Yes, Sir. Earl Roderick will remember your silence.
I look at my fellow compatriots and go, there's arguments for going both ways. I mean, we obviously have a major push towards assisting. That was brought to us at the Easter Feast. So, we'll see. I personally feel like my skill set might be better left here supporting the king and his endeavors, but I am perfectly happy to go where you direct us.
Sir Everhart, you remain quiet, as well as Sir Vitamar. I will hear your counsel.
My lord, perhaps everyone should be asked how they feel, but rather than a shouting match, have everyone put their name to parchment as to their vote. Or even,
Excuse me.
I'm going to cut matters short and not be long-winded.
Mm-hmm.
I basically suggest essentially what would be a secret ballot.
Mm.
Where everyone either takes a token, and that's actually how I would know how the Greeks and Romans did it. They simply took small tokens and put them in one box or another.
Yeah, it would have to
And
be
those tokens were kind of,
there'd have to be a token type. Jesus Christ, a token-based system because more than likely most of these knights don't know how to read. I'm not even sure, honestly, if the Earl knows how to read.
I do.
Yes, you do, and I think Dallin does, and Vitamar might if I counseled him and his player listened. Anyway, it's not not important right now. Reading is not that important. Don't worry about it. Okay. The Earl definitely nods along, and then he looks to Sir Vitamar. And for a moment, the Earl's face, like his gaze upon you, hardens a little bit. Sir Vitamar, you are no house knight no longer. You are a landed lord. Your counsel, please. Yeah, he's calling you out. I don't know if you caught that.
Staying here in Britain.
You say to stay, and the others are unconvinced one way or the other. Give me just a moment. I forgot to mention my 9-year-old is still here, so give me just a second, guys.
Wally's way plot twist. If there's a secret ballot, I'm voting to stay in Britain because I hate Saxons.
Yes, I heard.
maybe-
I heard secret votes say kill Saxons or something. Okay. Yeah, no, I think we'll do that. So the Earl takes Sir Vitimar's counsel recommendation of staying in Britain and serving the king. Serving the king sounds wrong, but basically rolling out with king. He takes that in stride and basically, like, you kind of see in his head, he's kind of like counting things up in his head. And he's like, yeah, this vote's pretty much 50-50. I don't know if this is a good idea, but here we go. It takes a little while to get sufficient tokens and some sort of receptacle for them, but basically he says, I think what he ends up doing is grabbing like a couple of wine jugs or something to that effect, and says, this one is for Madoc, this one's for the king. The more tokens will determine where we go this summer. Sir Vitamar, where are you tossing yours?
Oh, I'm staying here.
You want one?
Opposite
Go ahead.
the cup for England.
All right, we got one vote for Britain. Sir Dallin, where does your token end up?
Britain, obviously.
All right, we got one for Britain.
I quietly put my token as surreptitiously as possible. I basically walk up. Maybe I even put a hand over both cups and then walk away. But I voted to stay in Britain.
I was gonna say, if you don't give me a solid damn answer, Rev. Okay, all right. In that case, as the Earl works his way through the piles of tokens, counting them up for this, that, and the other, it is eventually decided that we shall. Here, let me back up. So, my landed gentry have decided that we shall stay here in Britain, and we shall move with the king. Very well. So, what ends up happening then is eventually you guys will march out. Let's see, Sarum through Selwood and into Selwood and finally into Wells. Let me see what that looks like on the map here. Selwood. Oh yeah, over here. I need to move one of these out of here because they are not.
While
here
you're
now.
moving them, did anyone find it amusing that like Excalibur was just like a shipment of like party tricks that he'd gotten in and not an actual?
Yeah, I was wondering because you had said it. We just got a new batch of swords in or something like that. I was like, what's he saying there?
If you didn't catch it, I said when you put your hand on the hilt right
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Yeah. All right, so Wells is about there.
Oh, the stupid Welsh.
Actually, I'm not sure if that's Welsh or if that's. I mean, that is the area where the Welsh will end up being, isn't it?
Technically,
The Kimricks are proto-Welsh, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They are essentially the survivors of the Breton culture that managed to survive the Roman times.
Right. Yeah. So we end up in Wells, and the Earl of I'm gonna say Jagged. I don't know if I'm saying this right. But the Earl of Jagged eventually comes out to the king. The army slowly moves north towards Bath, which is here. So now we've gone up here. So basically, we've been roaming the countryside, gathering people up.
Okay.
And then one evening, King Cadway, the Lord of Somerset, meets with Uther a bit surreptitiously, as to steal a word from you. There's a little bit of some amount of secrecy. Basically the King Cadway. Again, I'm probably saying his name wrong, but he rides up. He meets up with Uther, late in the evening, and then around midnight. I imagine if you're not sleeping, you're probably on guard duty or something like that. Or checking on your squires who should be pulling guard duty for you. Whatever the case might be. Excuse me. Around midnight, the king calls for his lords and knights, who then post up around the king's tent. There are many ranking lords here. There's a lot, and the king's voice is loud enough to be heard easily in the still night air. I picture Uther being that kind of guy that's just naturally loud, and then when he tries to be loud, it's just this big booming voice. It appears as though King Cadway has agreed to join Uther's cause, but first there is a problem plaguing Cadway's fishermen that needs to be taken care of. So do either of you have any of the following traits? Reckless or Valorous at 16 plus, or Loyalty Pendragon at 16 plus?
There's a loyalty Pendragon.
It because it's a passion, you could end up with like Loyalty XXX. That was not a good way to explain it. So basically, you could end up being loyal to anybody as a
Loyal
passion.
That, no, anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Loyal to insert agency.
What?
16 in Reckless, Valorous, or Loyalty Pendragon. I don't think I've never given you guys Pendragon.
I am Noctor from Valorous.
I am 16 Valorous.
Fuck.
Okay, in that case, Sir Dallin, I need you to test your Valor with a 1d20.
Dang it, I've got a 15 on Valor. What about my 16 on energetic?
Hang on.
9, so I pass.
Okay, Sir Dallin, as soon as you hear that there's some sort of problem, that basically that as soon as you hear that there's a problem that needs to be resolved, and then if it's resolved successfully or adequately, that King Cadway is on board with King Uther and his quest to become the High King, you pretty much you don't necessarily barge in. What's your courtesy?
Pretty solid, man.
Yeah, so you don't really
It
barge.
is
I'm sorry, go ahead.
specifically courtesy of 15.
Okay, so you're not gonna just barge in and rush right up and be like, me, I'll go. But you definitely make your way to the front, as courteously as one can, in a crowded tent full of people talking and yammering about everything under the sun. But you definitely move to the front, and it is noticed that you have done so. Even Merlin, who is there with you, with everybody, will notice and recognize Sir Dallin, and will be like, "Ah, yes, Sir Dallin, yes, gather your comrades. I have a task specifically for your troubleshooting group." And I don't know if he would actually use the word troubleshooting, but I think you guys, the players, know where I'm getting at.
Oh yeah. And then he would have asked for us to check our database.
I don't know about database. I might be missing something there.
We would check our spy gear, thank you very much.
Yes.
But then he would ask us if we were skilled at debugging.
Yeah. Also, Sir Dallin, please check Valor.
So I check mark it?
Yes. Yeah, let me clarify. Place a check mark or check the block for Valor so that you may roll upon it at interface. So you've basically been voluntold to attend to this task. What do you guys want to do? It's midnight. There is a task about which to resolve. The short version of this is that King Cadway has had problems with his fishermen, which for him, these fishermen are kind of like, your serfs essentially. Work farmers and whatnot. That they've been attempting to go out and go fishing and do the things that they need to do to earn their keep and everything, but they have often come back short a person, often come back without their I don't want to say quota, because not that they necessarily have a quota per se, but they definitely come back with a lot less fish than they ought to be. And there's a lot of tales about people being assaulted, people being murdered, people not coming back because their bodies can't be recovered.
Well, we can't stand that. We gotta go and help them. But Vidmar does not say that.
Because Vidmar's a bitch.
He's a bitch.
It's a tragedy. So many fishermen lost surfing.
Yeah, what Rob said.
Yes.
Does Hidamar actually have like cowardly stat or something?
No, okay, actually, on that note, there actually is a coward trait. Am I right?
Yeah, it's counterpoint to Valorous.
Okay, yeah. What is Vidamar's Valor? It should be at least a 15.
Well, if he
Yeah,
was,
Valorous is 15, his cowardly is 5.
the problem is you actually stop being a knight if your Valor goes too low.
Yes, indeed. But I also understand, so Talos is taken with his character. So if you guys don't remember,
He's
Vidamar's.
exceptionally prudent and cautious. Okay.
Vitamar is also 46 or 7 years old and has been essentially a bachelor knight his entire life. And now suddenly he is in charge of lands and people. And so on one hand, he doesn't necessarily have the experience in handling that sort of responsibility. On the other hand, he was doing fairly well not having to worry about such responsibilities, and now suddenly he has to. So it's kind of a whoa, I don't know if I'm really the right guy for this. And it's not so much his, cowardice, but I think as we'll start to see,
Look, I was doing just fine keeping my head down.
Yeah.
I don't know about all this.
yeah, exactly. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. But I think what we're going to see too is some of his peers and his lord are going to be giving him some shit every now and again in order to I guess the lack of a better way to phrase it, toe the line. Because that's what I feel like his earl and other knights would be doing. So that's the situation. What are your guys' plans, hopes, dreams, desires? What do we want to do? I'm kind of leaving this wide open ended just to see what you think the next step ought to be.
For the record,
Vidamar states to his two buddies next to him that he's fine with investigating it, but once we find something out, he'd like to discuss further options.
Yeah, I vote against interfering with the water in the dark.
Yeah,
Die.
yeah, that's a great way to not make it home.
I just want to say for the record, I'm now picturing Vitamar as like if Rodney Dangerfield was a knight.
Oh, Jesus, why?
Who
What?
that is, but okay.
Oh my God, I have
I'm
failed
kind
as a
of in the
parent.
same boat as Talus, unfortunately. I have no clue who that is either.
I have failed as a parent. Also, I'm blaming his mom. We have failed as parents. That my son, my oldest, my firstborn, does not know who. This stream has just gotten so far off the goddamn rails. Oh my God. Rodney Dangerfield was a comedian, popular in the 80s and early 90s, as I recall. He was also in a number
So,
of
before we were
comedic
born,
movies.
Okay.
Yes, several
He
years.
did a whole bunch of movies too that were your time. Like if they're my time rodents, you should know about them.
Yeah.
So
Anyways.
you mean those people that have faces that get paid to pretend to be other people?
Yeah, those are actors.
Yeah. They get paid to pretend to be other people. I don't remember names.
He doesn't pretend to be other people. He's just got one.
Yeah, he's pretty much. It doesn't really matter what. He basically played himself. It's just that his character in the movie may have had a different name, but that was about it.
I'm fine with going down to investigate the water, but let's discuss it after that. Whoa.
All right, so what I'm hearing is waiting at least until sunrise. Yeah, no, I hear you.
How'd I do?
You get no respect.
Okay.
Damn.
Well,
That's one of his. That was his damn tagline. I get no respect. I tell you. God damn it! It's.
I said she wanted to spend more time in bed, but it was with the neighbor. I get no respect.
Yeah, that was usually his punchline or his shtick. Anyway, all right, waiting until sunrise. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Frankly, if there's fishermen on the water after dark, they were being dumb to begin with.
Oh, absolutely. It was just the fact that this session was held at midnight, and you guys were bumping up there trying to, pick me, my lord, pick me. We'll go solve the problem.
Vidamar wasn't doing that.
I don't know, man. The way it's gonna be remembered was that you guys were volunteered.
Are you
You volunteered for this.
Are you saying Sir Dal is a pick me?
Yeah.
I mean, in a most courteous sort of way. All right, so.
Let's be clear, I'm not trying to date any of them. That would be weird. I am loyal to my wife.
Okay.
Right on. Okay, so in the morning, King Cadway and a decent sized retinue meet up with you guys. I'm going to assume you're bringing at least your squires, probably a couple of house knights and or some of your footmen or some. Right. Yes. And speaking of boats,
Yeah, and speaking of
Go ahead.
boats, you see that pile right there that's all over armor? Because we don't want to drown when we fall off. I can make that look at everybody.
I give a salute to the king and I say, don't worry, King Cadbury, we'll make sure all your eggs stay in the basket.
No.
God.
Cadwy, and the fact that Easter is just a couple of days ago should not have any bearing whatsoever. Okay, okay, Jesus Christ, this is not gonna be a good stream. We're just gonna be all over the fucking place. Okay, so yeah, in the morning, King Cadwy meets up with you guys. He leads you down to the local river. There's a number of boats waiting for everybody. Obviously, if you had horses, they're gonna stay back for obvious reasons. Your choices of armor being on or off is up to you, but you are getting on a boat, and some of these rivers can be a little wide and a little deep. But you spend the next few days basically on and off the river, camping along the shoreline, um, making your way through essentially some wetlands. It's kind of a swampy marsh actually. There is obviously dry land, but it like this is spring. The rains have been plentiful. The waters are flooded, so it's not always been a nice dry night. Um, you pass
Do
by.
I feel the same sort of feeling that we got in that nasty enchanted swamp by the enchanted lake?
Oh, that's a good question.
Do I get the same sort of vibes?
No, because that was more of like you were in a Fae forest when that encounter took place. Like you had already been in the forest for a while before you came upon the lake. This is just ye old British swampland marshiness.
Fins.
Yes, Fettons. Yes. Um, Probably about your third or fourth day out. You by this point you've passed a number of fishing villages, but there's nothing, you know, nothing.
The villagers don't have any news or rumors or.
I was just gonna say, like, I was actually just thinking about that. Like, if you want to talk or interact with them, uh, you can go ahead and roll either folklore or damn, what's the word I'm looking for? Something about gossip.
I kind of push
Where is
Sir
my
Dallin
character sheet?
forward.
Yeah, because Dallin is definitely the talkative. Folklore. Um, what else we got in here? Flirting wouldn't work. Intrigue, although this isn't really a plot per se, so I don't know if intrigue is the right one. But yeah, if you want to interact with the locals, that's an option. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, I would think it would be courtesy because I'm approaching them politely and with authority.
I can accept that.
Do I see any of them that are injured?
Yes, there's a few that are, they're not like freshly injured. Maybe within the last week or so.
I
Um,
passed
would-
with the 4.
yes.
Would any-
Go ahead, Brev.
Would any of them appear to need first aid?
No, they appear to be the ones that you do see appear to be intended to. What you also notice in some areas, obviously not too close to home, but you do notice some relatively recently dug graves, filled in. That is.
Right.
And I realize usually graves are the purview of the church, but also sometimes you can't get to a church, or it's just
Yeah.
easier to bury them there.
It's a great situation.
The puns, man. I'm gonna start taking reroll tokens for every pun,
That's
but
not
I
fair.
won't take yours. I'll take somebody else's.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because I can be a diabolical GM. It'll be at random too. Rodance, what kind of questions are you asking here? Rodance, what kind of questions are we asking here?
When they receive their injuries, when was the most recent sighting of whatever creature or thing that is doing this? What are the stories that they have on it? Is it partial to a particular time of day?
That seems like a
Is it
lot of
when
questions for a 4, but here's what you get.
Well, these people
No, these are good questions to ask. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, dude, this is basic investigative work.
Yes, it
There's
is.
a boatload of questions.
There is. There's a lot of, there's at least 6 or what is it, 5 or 6? Who, what, where, when, why, when, how? That's 5.
I was gonna say if she rolled a 4, give her 4 questions.
Yeah. So, the gist of what you pick up is that these are not they're not being attacked by people, and the only way to explain it or to basically explain it, is that these large frog people things are what's attacking them. They're not frog people either. They're just you're getting conflicting stories. The body of a frog, long legs, but no arms. Sometimes there's wings, sometimes there's arms, and a lot of times what ends up happening is the frog thing, whatever it is, jumps out of the water, grabs a person, which implies arms, obviously, and then brings them underwater. There have been attempts to fighting them back, but sometimes they have some sort of biting attack. Um, it's not sure, but somebody had a nice gash on the side of their leg that was more indicative of a slash than a bite. But nobody's really sure. Nobody seems to have any solid information other than frog thing giant, and they tend to leap out of the water, grab the unwary, pull them under, and attempt to drown them.
Wow.
I've heard about.
That's
I've heard about.
scary.
I've heard about these. They call them the Irish.
Rev, roll hate Irish. Do you have hatred of Irish?
I don't. Oh no, but I'm getting messages.
Do you have an Irish family member, perhaps?
Oh, so just roll a d20 or what?
I was being mostly facetious.
Okay.
At this point, it
If
sounds
you
like
had-
you're trying to acquire it.
Yeah,
I
if
was
you
tempted
had
to say-
hatred of Irish, I would have made you test
I was
it.
tempted to
and
say
then check
I
it.
Picks, but
Uh,
I thought I would go with something that wasn't really in the game.
the Irish are in the game. There's a whole island of them,
Yeah, but if I where
west of England.
oh.
Okay, what are we doing? What do we want to do here? Besides throw more puns and shit at me.
Well,
I wonder if we can tongue tie them.
They have those flat, wide tongues, so it doesn't really work well for tying knots. It's not like a dog's tongue where it's long and skinny.
Yeah.
I'm making this shit up. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking
How
about.
long you've been staring at the inside of your dog's mouth to determine that you cannot did just no.
No, just stop there, Ro. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
I don't know if it's worth going any further from here. What do you guys want to do before I railroad you on to the next part?
Well, we collect
At least
as
you're
much
on
information we can as every place that we pass through. We try to determine if there's a pattern to sightings. And wait, didn't we just have Merlin around here somewhere? We asked him if there's any fairy
Merlin-
that might be relevant.
Merlin has remained back with the king. They have the rest of the king's entourage and the bulk of the army. They're not moving very far away from you. It's more that you're moving away from them. But they have, from what you were told beforehand, they were continuing on something of a patrol. Although calling a gigantic army of like a few thousand a patrol is ridiculous.
Okay, so
I'm pulling in my squire. I'm writing down a note.
You're writing down a nerd.
sending
Sorry.
him a message to go.
Yeah, I'm writing down a note essentially for Merlin because I'm assuming Merlin can read. And if not, I'm sure he's got some magic that can handle it. And the note just says, "Frog people found in swamps. Seems like your sort of devilry."
This seems like some of your devil worshipping bullshit. Can you come out here and save us?
Seems like your sort of devilry. Please attend to Fable.
Okay. And you're gonna send your spire off? Okay.
Hey, I was just about to do the exact same thing with mine.
Okay. Yeah, so they leave, and then you guys are going to continue. King Cadway and his retinue are, they're not rushing you, of course, but they are just trying to get to the bottom of it. Like it seems like there's a group of these frog people things, whatever the hell they are. They're in the water. And you asked about any sort of patterns or whatever as far as their attacks. The only thing that can come up, excuse me, the only thing that has come up. God damn, I'm trying not to burp. The only thing that's come up is obviously these are going to be, a water-based critter. And this map is not a very good map to show you all the rivers, lakes, and streams and whatever the hell. But it's King Cadway's area, which I'm not even 100% sure exactly where it is, but I imagine we're in that area. There's a lot of various rivers and streams. There is one particular area where it always happens, and the people have stayed away from there. Well, let's just call it west. Hold on, I'm not done. Hold on, I'm not done. Sorry, I was getting a pace because I was trying to get through my sentence. We can just call it west. Oh my god, you fucker! I deserve that. I probably deserve that. God damn it. We'll call this stretch of water West End, just for lack of a better thing to call it. But the sightings or the locations have seemed to spread outward from there. Maybe if you were to try to measure it on a map, even though you guys don't have any of that stuff, something like a few miles in any particular direction.
How quickly has it spread? Was it like a few just outside? Has this been years it's been slowly encroaching, or is this a rapid encroachment?
This has been a problem that has developed rapidly since the big thaws from winter.
Okay.
So basically just the spring. Previous years, the problem hasn't been as threatening or damaging. It'd be, a couple of times a year, some fishermen may stray too far, or not realize he's in a bad area, and all of a sudden they come back one fisherman less. But that sort of thing is always easily accountable to not just weird frog shits, but like, oh, he fell in the water and couldn't swim, and the current took him away. Oh no, stupid shit like that can happen. But lately, this year in particular, this spring, there's been a large number of attacks. And
I think I read about this in a text. Invasive species expansion due to global warming.
It's like you guys are just trying to throw me off, huh?
I'm not doing anything.
As soon as I said that, I went to reach my drink, and I was like, actually, Taz has been pretty damn quiet.
Yeah.
And Ro, if anything, Ro is just laughing. So that's really only encouraging our true culprit here, Rev. You can call me Sherlock fucking Holmes. I cracked the case. Stop trying to fuck me up, Rev.
If I have to have a bad night, so do you.
Jesus Christ. I can have... No, I'm going to stop right there. Oh my god, what the hell is that?
A voice modifier.
Oh, please don't.
It was not.
That
was just something else. No, that was literally me turning on my speaker.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Anyways. So you have... And had I thought about this prior, I would have come up with something.
Power off.
Really?
My job on speaker does that.
Yeah, so we have this stretch of water called the West End. There are a number of smaller streams and tributaries and whatnot that come off of it. You have no real map, but listening to the way people talk about it is that generally, any more than a few miles out from where a lot of the fisher settlements are, that's when things start to happen, and it seems like a lot of it is centered around this place called West End.
Off to the West End we go.
Now, just to be clear, are the attacks occurring just along the riverbank? Is there a swampy area? What is the terrain of the riverbank?
It's obviously fed by a fairly decent sized river. That one, if you look at the big map here, that river that runs from Bristol to Somerset, that's the main feeder river. And then there's a lot of streams and everything that come off of that, and it's a lot of swampy area. Pretty much where that... So basically what I'm envisioning in my head is that where my hand is like in this area here is roughly where you guys are. So in fact, let me do this. I'm just going to move this over like that. And then I'm going to do this. The other way. So I'm gonna put you guys right there, and that's where you guys are. That area is a lot of swamp. There's hardly any dry land. Um, there's a lot of swamp, a lot of lakes, a lot of creeks or cricks, if you prefer, rivers, like just water everywhere. West End. Sorry.
I asked if there was any fish in them. Is there any crappie?
Yeah, there's fish in them. There's a lot of crap in it too.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so West End from the directions you get is obviously a little further west. There's a couple of hills, and the West End extends in between them where the land seems to go lower, so a lot of water gathers there, especially this time of year because the winter thaws and the spring rains.
Could we get Merlin to bless the rains?
No, he's actually down in Africa right now.
Okay.
And okay, all right, let's stay on task. Jesus Christ, man.
These are confusing me.
It's a Toto song.
It's the one I actually don't like, so no, we're good.
Yeah.
Move on.
Give me just a quick moment. I got somebody knocking on my door. I'll be right back. Oh, my kid's got the door.
I don't particularly care for it either, but I couldn't resist the.
No joke, right?
No, lots of jokes.
I know, right?
I think it's a response to pain and tiredness. It's a reflex. Normally people get ornery when they're in pain. I make people around me ornery.
Oh, I feel like you do that when you're in a normal mood.
Hey.
I'm just
Should
teasing.
be happy
I'm
that
just
I'm not
teasing.
Stuck in my position, my poor roommate being put up on steroids for her pneumonia. I get weird when I'm on steroids. The mood is psycho.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, West End. Everything seems to be pointing to West End. There's obviously been attacks outlying area. You are probably a mile or two away by boat and or trudging through mucky water. What are we doing here?
Well, I'm ditching my armor, my chainmail for some studded leather armor. I'm kidding, didn't exist. But no,
Are our squires back?
No, it's like the next day. They haven't come back yet. How many squire? Like, so who did you send off? A squire with a few others.
I definitely sent my squire for sure. But if she sent hers, I was thinking we might have essentially sent them as messengers.
Mm-hmm.
I would have directed mine not to follow the river on the way back to keep some distance from the river based off what we learned.
Okay.
So that they can't just be riding along the river and get grabbed.
Yeah. Do me this favor. Let's see.
Yeah, I was having mine ride back with him because
Two people together.
safety in numbers.
Yep. I need them both to roll. I'm looking for a good skill for them.
Would you want to give them orders once they reach like the main road or anything to split up to more quickly find Merlin if they felt it necessary?
I mean, with such a large group, tracking them down should be quite easy, but yes, as
Fair enough.
necessary.
I'm gonna need some. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm a big proponent of letting them use their own judgment once we give them basic directions.
Right, but I'm not going to give them like if they think there's two possibilities of potential.
Finding a road, not knowing which way to go, either left or right. I'm gonna go left. You go right.
Pretty much.
Kind of a situation where and that would still be their own judgment, but not like forced orders to stay together at all times type situation.
Yeah. Once they get away from the water, then it'd be safer for them to split up. We definitely do not want them interacting with the water at all.
We should hire a guide. I heard old Greg lives near here.
I do need some squire rolls.
Mine's with me still.
Okay.
Which dice do you need me to roll?
D20 against your squire's skill. I don't have.
You've added too many dice pads. I don't know which one's the D20 anymore.
Really? Half of them are D20s. The other half are D6s. Oh. Okay. How old's your squire? I'm thinking 17. Ooh.
Sounds right.
Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna.
I feel like this is bad, and I'm considering for a roll.
Okay. So here's what happens. You gave your squires orders to go that direction until you find the road, then use the road to get back to Bath and find Merlin, correct? Alright. I heard something about splitting up once you find the road in order to make sure at least one of you makes it back the right way. Is that
More of if you're not sure which way to go.
okay?
If they're pretty certain which way Merlin is, obviously they wouldn't need to split.
Alright, so here's what I'm looking at. One of them failed. That would be Everhart's squire, but Sir Dallin's squire fucking killed it and finds Merlin.
Isn't my squire a year older?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Am I wrong?
Well, keep in mind that my squire
They all
started
try to
a
squire
year
the
after them.
same.
Say it again,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, she
Oh,
has
yeah.
a squire. Hers is older, Red's is younger. No, other way around, sorry.
Do you not keep track of how old your squire is, Rev?
We're
I have it
lucky.
in my notes somewhere, but
It's on
I
your
don't
character sheet.
We're lucky if Rev keeps track of his character sheet.
right. My squire is 18.
Oh, well, in that case, you guys, you're all right. All right, here's what. Not as funny, but here's what happens. Your squires find Merlin. Merlin may or may not respond. You have not heard yet. King Cadway is getting almost impatient, especially after effectively touring his lands, almost literally village by village, and seeing his people, the injuries that some of his people have taken, the fact that some of his people have been recently buried, and that up to this point, nothing has been done to resolve it. And so he's kind of getting he's getting a little snarky and testy with his words when speaking with you guys, like really short and really just like, we just need to go there and we need to get in there. We need to figure out what the hell's going on. And he is actually pushing for
But
a
you're not like taking our we're not delaying.
no, but
We haven't collected information because we didn't know where to go.
no.
He's having a problem. Well, I'm arguing with him, not with you.
Oh yeah, I know. And I hope you're not arguing.
We can only work with the information we have, and unfortunately, the only way to get the information is to go around and talk to your people. I sympathize with the fact that we've lost people. It's never good. It's a bad indicator of something going on. If we get additional information, awesome. If not, we're going to have to deal with this on our own. Because it's not like we have great magic horses riding in after us or something.
Yes.
My breath probably low enough for the others of the party to hear, but not anybody else. I was just thinking along the lines of Royal did anyway.
Nice callback. Waiting to see if the other two players caught that.
Yeah, I'm aware. I remember.
Okay. Yeah. So, King Cadway definitely takes your response into account. He kind of calms down a little bit.
And honestly, I need him to calm down because him freaking out will freak out everybody else that's riding with us.
Noted.
Calm down like he's acting like his mother.
So, Rev, wait till
Did I detect an extra bit of sternness in Rodance's voice?
Slap your face off for that comment. I don't have to worry about that too much.
Okay. King Cadway is effectively saying we need to go into the West End now. He's not being quite as stern or quite as impatient as that may sound, but that is clearly his goal at this point, to take this little force that he has, between his retinue and you guys, and just let's go.
Okay.
He
Wait,
obviously
go
he's a
Cadway or eliminate this threat.
no to go into the West End. That's what Cadway wants to do right now.
Okay.
And he knows he's a king, and he knows he doesn't need your guys' permission or whatever, but he doesn't want to go in without you, so he's kind of trying to lead you there, almost as if your GM was railroading, but not your GM railroading.
Okay,
I'm going to start asking local villagers if they've seen any Saxons lately.
I kind of cuff you in the back of the head as we're riding. God, sure, you can ask that as we're going, but
God.
We're going past the village and I just point with a mail fist and go, have you seen Saxons?
Alright, so eventually you make your way back into the goddamn water. it is about midday before you slowly make your way. You know, sometimes you're rolling with the current. Sometimes the current is kind of pushing back. There's not a lot of wind. You don't have a big ass sail anyway. Long story short, you eventually make your way into a not so much a lake, but it's definitely a wide body, but not very deep. If you were to stand in the water, you feel like it would probably be up to like knee or mid thigh. Um, it looks pretty murky, muddy, swampy-ish, reeds up everywhere, other vegetation that you might expect. And yeah, suddenly there is a clusterfuck worth of large, legless frogs with finny wings, leaping to and fro from the water, attempting to snatch people, attempting to grab people.
Frogfish?
These are. Hold on.
I just want to make sure you said legless.
Yes.
Like the elf?
No, legless, like without legs. I don't have a good representation of what they accurately look like.
Head of a frog, body of a human, body of a
No,
frog.
just picture a frog with fins, but more like wings, okay? Without legs.
Okay, so like a humming frog.
I don't know what a humming frog is, but I will take that.
It's a hummingbird frog.
Sure.
I just, if it's hovering on wings, it's got no legs, we could call it Lieutenant Dan.
Alright, these are not good representations of what these things are. Actually, these might not be so bad. Other than, you know, their scorpion-looking tails and their one eyeball.
And the fact that they don't have arms? I thought they have arms.
No, they have finny wings.
Oh.
So keep in mind, the information you guys were getting wasn't necessarily accurate, and it was also conflicting at points. So you basically imagine something like the body of a frog with instead of fins, they're more like wings, but they're more like large fins. Like,
Okay,
yeah, that's probably something.
so
like
we're
it.
on a boat in a lake.
Yes, and
Are they attacking a village or are they?
no, they're attacking all of y'all. There's like a bunch of them. Effectively,
We're
there's
out on the lake and they just come out everywhere.
yeah, they not necessarily surrounding you and then attack as one, but they're all over the freaking place. They're constantly leaping from like effectively from one side of the boat to the other, trying to grab people.
They're leapfrogging.
Yes, if that's what makes you feel better.
I draw my sword and strike right away.
Yeah, so my exact description or what have you is this. Looks like a rather large, legless frog with finny wings, likes to leap from the water, latch onto its victims, and then pull them down under.
What the fuck are death throws?
It is a special ability.
Yeah,
I see you guys are learning from how I do things here. The drowning attack and death throws are different, for lack of a better thing to call it, ability or feature or something like that.
You hide them.
What do you mean I hid them?
I can't see the stat.
He mouthed over a different one and he didn't see the same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I can see him now. It's
All right. So I'm just gonna do this. We will conduct this fight in this manner, where basically there's one each. You could
man, it's a lake.
Okay.
I thought you said we were being overwhelmed.
You're not being okay.
We're an entire group of people, man.
Yeah. So what it boils down to, for the sake of this fight and how we're going to resolve this entire fight, is that there is one of these for each of you. Keep in mind, visually, what's going on around you is that there are a bunch of these fuckers hopping all over the place. People are being attacked, snatched, dragged, bumped into because they miss, whatever the case might be. People are screaming. Like, there's several boats. There's several boats full of people. People have swords out and whatever else. They're trying to fight these things off.
Oh no, do I have a spear skill?
Yeah, you do.
Is that even an option?
You do have a spear.
Yeah. Shanking them with a spear, because frankly I can't see swords being super effective here.
I don't got.
Everybody has spear. You should have spear 6, I think.
Yeah, by default we all have spear 6.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I'm still using my sword.
I mean, I look at it this way. So I'm picturing in my head, right? This thing is leaping out of the water, sailing over top of my boat that I'm standing on. It's a possibility I could hit him with my sword.
Yeah.
Similar in some ways to swinging a baseball bat at a badly curving ball.
I've got a two-handed axe, so I'm not concerned about reach.
Show off. All right, what are we doing here, guys? Obviously, you're gonna attack because if you don't attack, my attack roll is gonna take priority. So,
Yeah, obviously.
I
Sir Everhart is first. Sir Everhart is first because he is the highest glory. So go ahead, Rev. What is your
I pull
action
out
here?
my master-crafted two-handed axe,
Mm-hmm.
and I scream at him. I say, "Hey, Legless, what do your elf eyes see?" And I swing my axe.
You do not, but you can make your attack roll.
Okay.
I can feel the soul pain from here.
Yeah. What do they
Who
have?
rolled?
I rolled.
Oh, I was confused. With
Well, it's a opposed roll, so I'm waiting for your attack roll.
I'm debating if I should use passion here. So, hospitality would be more of. This isn't like, oh, we're doing this to help another lord out.
No, the closest that, insofar as any of that goes, I think the closest one would be loyalty, lord. But not- Yeah, but not in this case. This is, in fact, if you do this well, you may end up with a loyalty Pendragon trait.
Okay, well, I think I'll hold off.
Okay.
I'll just straight up roll.
Okay.
And I'm. Okay. I need to. I thought I changed that. Anyway, so yeah, I'm giving it a big ol' swing.
Alrighty. That is a success, but my success was higher.
Okay.
You do have the benefit of your. You're using your two-handed axe? You said yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you don't get the benefit of your shield. You also said you're not wearing your full combat armor, correct?
That's correct.
What are you wearing?
Well, basically, like anything other than regular clothing is going to be a hazard in a bow.
So are you armorless? That's what I'm hearing, and that's your choice. I'm not going to tell you not to.
Basically, axe, sword, and shield is basically. I'm going to have my
You have your shield. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm interrupting again. Please
I'm
continue.
going to have my sidearms and my shield, but I'm not going to have my armor.
Okay. In that case, you will take.
I don't get to.
Hold on. Let me.
Reroll?
Hold on one second. Hold on one second. You mentioned reroll. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I was gonna reroll my.
Oh, you wanted to reroll your attack?
Yeah.
Okay. You may use a reroll token if you like. That's not yours. Yours are over here.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, I still want to use that one.
Where? There we go. No, put that one back. Give that back to your cousin or whatever it is.
I'm putting it back.
All right, make your attack roll. That is a 10. That beats my 8. Please make.
It is definitely still a success.
Yes. Please make your damage roll.
So my damage roll is now 6d6.
Impressive.
Now, okay.
26.
Plus 2.
28. This is a 23. Let's see. 28 minus 5 for armor is 23. He is unconscious. There's just no other way around about it. So, when you swing your two-handed axe, which is probably a bit unchivalrous, but we'll talk about that another time. You catch this frog leapy something or other midair as it's bearing down on you. You basically cleave. You don't really cleave into it. Like, if he had been just a smidge lower, your axe would have cut this fucker right in half, right down the spine, or whatever it is that these things have for bones. You basically, what's the word I'm looking for here? You know when you have, like, say, a sack of grain and somebody comes up and they just knife along it and it just splits and everything starts spilling out? That's pretty much what happens to you. Or, well, not to you, to this thing that you're fighting.
Oh my.
Yeah, so I'm going to take him. I'm going to set him over here because he is currently unconscious. He flops. When he hits the deck of the boat, he just kind of flops. There's no, like, conscious movement. The flopping you see is more of, like, you know when you land a fish on the boat and it just flops? But yeah, that guy's dead. Sir Farvel. That's not Sir Farvel. This is actually Sir Vidamar. I apologize. This is from this. Well, I grabbed an earlier save.
Wow.
Shut up.
He's
There.
back from the dead.
Yeah.
It's a zombie.
Yeah. All right, Sir Vidamar.
What have you done now?
Oh no, I'm sorry, not Sir Vidamar. Sir Dallin, you are next in the glory order. What would you like to do, my friend? You have these giant wannabe flying fish with giant maws just springing all over the place, trying to snatch people up. You hear splash sounds all around you. People falling in, the fish landing back in the water, or whatever these things are.
Yeah, so I would basically be in plain clothes,
Okay.
and I would have a sword, a spear, a dagger, and a shield with me.
Okay. And you are using what in your attack motion here?
I'd go for a spear.
Okay. Are you calling in a... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Because I frankly consider that the most effective weapon for something in the water, because I'd rather not lose my sword in the water when I know spears are a more common weapon.
And it doesn't take much to make a spear. Literally a piece of wood, shape it into a point on one end.
I could have an entire stack of spears and like one sword
Yeah, exactly.
and one dagger.
Exactly. Please make your spear attack, or roll for passions if you'd like.
Is it a, well, if you roll for passions, it's a spirited attack.
Oh my god. I will allow your honor in your case, especially because you did make a point of being among the first selected for this task. So your honor very much is on the line here.
Oh yeah, it's definitely on the line, but in this case, I think honestly we don't have any homage liege almost, but that's closer than I think because
Yeah, because Cadway's not your
Actually-
lord, but he is somebody's lord in...
the king. The problem is my fealty lord. Does that apply to the Earl Roderick or does that apply to our king?
So,
Because what I'm envisioning is I'm currently enacting on behalf of the king more than I am on my Earl.
yes.
Because I'm trying to support the king's effort by assisting this fellow individual here.
Yes. However, I would allow, and I may not necessarily be the correct, and this may not be the right answer, but I would allow loyalty lord in this case because in the pecking order, in the rating scheme, whatever you want to call it, the earl is your lord, the king is his lord.
Mm-hmm.
So I will allow fealty lord on this one.
Well, yeah, and I think I get the feeling that might be what the difference between our liege and our lord is because is I'm living in one spot, but I have loyalties to multiple people.
Right.
Up the chain.
Right.
So yeah, I would rather. I think it's more fealty lord because I'm trying to support the endeavors of my lord and his lord by assisting this other person.
Yep, definitely. So you're going to roll loyalty lord?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what do you got? 15? 16? 14?
16.
Alrighty.
Rose reason was the same as mine. That's why I held back on it.
That is a success. You may add... let me double check. Do you increase it on a success or on a critical? Success.
I think
Standard
I should have gone
passion.
with success.
Character is inspired. Gain an experience check in the passion. So check your loyalty lord, and then You are inspired, which will give you a +10 on your attack roll, which should take your spear 6 to now spear 16, if I'm not mistaken. That is a success. Let me see what I got here. I'm rolling against
Not
a
a
10.
good one, though.
It was good enough because I failed. Please make your damage roll with your spear, which should be your standard damage roll.
Yeah, so my damage is my strength plus my size divided by 6.
Which I believe is your
So,
case.
24 divided by 6 is
Is
4.
correct.
So 46.
Correct.
Yeah, I went with 12 all the way down with all the extra points in appearance. So it's going to be a while before I get another.
Oh yes, prudent and handsome.
Yes! It was useful.
13 damage. All right, yeah, minus the 5 armor, that takes it down to 17. All right, yeah, no, this thing is leaping over the water, over the boat. It looks like it's heading either to you or someone standing really close. You stab out with your spear. You feel it catch, and between the momentum of this froggy fishy thing and the motion of your spear, it diverts mid-flight and lands back in the water. You see a cloud of red trailing behind it as it disappears under the water and appears to either break contact or otherwise be coming back around. It's coming back around. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not running away yet. It took 8 points of damage. It has a major wounds of 15, so we're good. Okay. And it's knocked down with.
How much damage, just to confirm?
Oh, I forgot to roll knockdown. I gotta roll dexterity. Hold on one second. I need to roll under a 20. That's easy. That's easy on a d20. I'm not even gonna roll it. Its dex is 20. I'm not gonna roll a dexterity check. Anybody wanna fight me on that?
On what now?
So,
Does that mean I can get an extra loyalty for supporting my king in addition to my lord?
are you asking to have the passion loyalty Pendragon? That's what it sounds like you're asking.
So, Pendragon would mean supporting the king in his endeavor to unite all of Britain, right?
I mean, that's what you're doing right now. Yes.
Then yes. If that's what Pendragon loyalty means, then that indeed would be the thing I'm working towards.
Okay.
Because I like his ideas of uniting everyone.
Got it. Okay.
And
So.
frankly, I don't think if right now qualifies as going it, but that's something I'd be working towards, yes.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Sir Vitamar, not Sir Farvel, but Sir Vitamar. What are you doing, my friend? You have
I'm
this.
still wearing my armor. and
You're
shit.
wearing your armor because you don't know any better.
Yep.
All right. What are you doing?
Anyway,
You're gonna.
I
Yeah,
don't
let's
warn
go
you
next
that
day.
you can't swim in armor, because I told everybody that. But
Yeah.
just take that advice.
You know, you can lead a horse to the water, but if you put armor on it, it'll fall in and drown.
Anyway.
I just really felt that was
Let's go
pertinent.
westward.
Yep. All right, roll your attack, please. What's your sword skill again? Oof.
15.
Well, I failed even for your attack. Ooh, you failed too. Nothing happens. So yeah, so in your case, this thing sails overhead.
Relaxing.
So this is what happens. This thing sails overhead, right? It's very clearly coming towards you. In your effort to attack and swing at it, you both miss each other. Like there's like a half of a sidestep when you swing. It apparently doesn't account for this mid-flight, and it's got these little finny membranous wings that can kind of divert a little bit. It bounces off the edge of the railing of the boat, falls it back into the water, disappears for a moment, and comes back around again in a moment or two. Sir Everhart, you have a mostly eviscerated thingy more or less at your feet. It is bleeding profusely. Guts are spewing outward or are otherwise visible. This thing is unconscious. It's dying. What are you doing?
If do I see it moving, or did you say? I thought you said it was pretty much.
It is flopping because much like a fish out of water. However, the more blood it loses, the slower and or less energetic the floppies become.
Okay. Well, given as I rent it down the side, I don't think anyone's going to question the honor of that kill.
Yeah, it's
So,
pretty obvious.
Who would I guess this is easier for me or for you, but who would I be closer to, Vitamar or Dallin?
That honestly is arguable. That's really a matter of you just choosing which one you want to help out.
Like I'm closer to Vitamar, I think.
There was no thought or no rhyme or reason into how I positioned this. I just lined up one of those things with each.
I'm sorry, I thought
Yeah.
it was on the end.
Yeah, it's really immaterial. It's wherever you want to go from here. I'm assuming you guys would be on the same boat. So,
Well, I'm seeing the one that Sir I'm probably aware of where Sir Dallin stands in the field of combat skills.
Yeah, Dallin's proven himself. I don't know if Dallin's had too much in the way of kills, but definitely proven his capability. I don't recall.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he has it. I just don't recall any right now. Vitamar definitely is unproven.
I got an entire story about me slaying a giant, man.
Oh shit, that's right. Oh man, I forgot all about that. My bad. I feel stupid now. I'm so sorry. You did get the whole giant and the horse thing song written. Yeah. Jesus, listen. Don't make me answer that question. It's not a question to be answered on stream.
Well, despite what the stories may say, my character is probably aware that your character only does 4d6 damage with most melee weapons, and that your critical hit with a lance was more of a fluke.
Oof. But there's also this whole totally unproven old man knight over here who has already missed one attack.
I like his half brother, his half niece or nephew better anyway. I am gonna go. For,
Jesus Christ! I like his nephew better. Fuck that guy.
Look, he's my uncle-in-law.
Yeah, he is.
So I'm going for the one that is currently engaged with Sir Dallin, not the one that just flew over Sir Vitamar.
Okay. That one ran back into the water. It is coming back. Well, no, hold on. It is coming back around. I just need to choose which of you two. Okay.
No, I was gonna say if it is in the water, then I'll go for the one. Are they both?
No. Hold on. You didn't let me finish. So what they're doing is they will leap over the boat for trying to grab somebody. They'll go back into the water, and then they'll basically circle back around. They're basically making strafing runs. So the one that Sir Dallin already took a bite out of has jumped back into the water, circled around, and is now coming back out. And because I rolled a 1, is attacking Sir Dallin.
I promise it's not tasty.
Let me clarify. And Rev, I'm not cutting you out, so work with me here, okay? I feel like these fuckers can't attack multiple targets at once. They're not big enough. They don't have extra limbs, whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
So instead of splitting my attack dice, I'm going to single one of you. That's why I made that roll. Okay. And I use the standard. Humor me when I say this, but I use the standard even male, odd female. I've rolled an odd, so Rodance's character gets chosen. What that will do for you is when you enter into combat with it, you will have an unopposed attack. But I'm going to let Rodance's character, Sir Dallin, resolve his attacks and everything first.
Okay.
All right. I feel like that's a bit fair, because I feel like with you getting an unopposed attack, you're much more likely to kill it if it's still alive.
Yeah. That's what I'm literally just trying to help them kill security.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. You're totally not trying to kill steal. I got you. All day. I'm being a little sarcastic asshat right now. So, Sir Dallin, yeah, no, this fish frog thing has circled back around, is coming back for more. I feel like that's lyrics to a song. What would you like to do? Do you still have a spear or a different? You're definitely attacking. I see that.
Was there one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater?
Yeah, I definitely forgot to roll. Well, you know what? Your inspiration will last for the combat. So that's a success. Ooh! Ooh!
Unless it just crit.
I just crit. I'm verifying right now that I have a bite of 10. I do have a bite of 10. I have 3d6. That's going to be 6d6. You have now you.
Rev,
All
attack it for me and then give me some first aid, please.
Okay.
right, hold on. So you're not wearing armor, but you do have your shield, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, I'm assuming we're not using long spears, which means you can actually fight with a shield and a spear.
I had assumed that whatever spear you have was, not too long, so that you could use the shield.
Yeah, we have separate lances and spears. That's the thing.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so you still get your 6 points of armor from your shield, but that is it. So here we go. Ooh, every one of them a 4 or 5. That's 21 damage. What is your dexterity? Or excuse me, what is your knockdown first?
So, my total damage is 21, so I need to write that down because that's a damage hit.
Yep. But you first have to resolve knockdown versus a 27-point damage attack.
My size / knockdown is 12, and my dexterity is 12.
You're automatically knocked down. You're getting dragged into the water right now.
I figured that would be the case.
You do take 21 points of damage. I'm pretty sure that's a major wound.
Oh yeah, my major wound is 12.
Yes. So you will need to check.
My total hit points is 24.
So you're down to 3 hit points right now.
That's unconscious, isn't it?
That is most likely below her
My
consciousness.
is 6.
Yeah, you're knocked out. You're definitely out. This thing grabbed a hold of you, and like somewhere between the force with which it hit you, its bite
Yeah,
damage
you guys
alone.
can clearly see it thumps my skull off the side
Oh,
of the rail,
yeah.
and I'm out.
Yeah, definitely. And also you're underwater right now. Rev, you do have a moment.
How fast
Well,
do you drown unconscious?
You're not underwater yet.
no, yeah, you will be by the end of the round.
I was gonna
Base-
say, I'm swinging as she gets bit. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, I'm picturing, just for the record, since unconscious, I'm picturing like a chomp down over the head and shoulders, and like you're. This is me flavoring it. You willing to go with that, Omar?
No, well,
Yeah.
what I'm picturing is this thing managed to get some level flight before it hit, and where a lot of this.
It took me in the shoulder and thumped my head off the ship.
Yeah, and I think that's where the damage comes from. The extra damage is the impact plus the bite plus the thunk onto the side of the boat. I think that's what really does all of this. I do need you to roll your attack unopposed.
I thought you said it was unopposed.
No, it is.
All right. I can't see.
That's a 19.
For some reason. Yeah, that would be a failure, but I'm gonna use my second reroll token
Okay.
because I feel like this is way too critical not to.
Critical. I see what you did there. That sounds like a failure, or excuse me, a success. All right. Roll your damage.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
And then
You're about to say something. Go ahead.
no. 66 plus 2. Come on.
21. That is enough to outright kill it. You cleave this fucker right in half, and luckily for Rodance, the half that you cleave off is the half that doesn't have a grip on Sir Dallin. So basically, what we end up seeing is this fishy, froggy thing leaping through the water, slamming into Sir Dallin, grabbing Sir Dallin with its maw, and then bashing into the side of the boat. And even better, the reason why it bashes into the side of the boat without going over is because the bottom half of this thing is suddenly separated from the top half of this thing, and it lays there dying. Sir Dallin is trapped in its jaws because closed mouth stays closed on death.
No.
But this thing is definitely dead. You've definitely killed it.
The rigors that we endure. Anyway.
Yes. Just gonna put 0. Oops. And dead. And then you get this bad boy as well. Where are you? Where's the other one? There he is. Sir Vitamar.
I hope my wife likes pretty scars.
Oh, you're gonna have a shark bite series of scars. Like I'm picturing across most of his torso or the side of a flank is just nothing but puncture wounds, and they're deep. There's like deep bruising, crushing, crunching. Not to mention, smacking the back of your head against the railing of the boat. Sir Vitamar,
Yeah.
it is your turn.
Attack with my sword.
Yeah, the one that you attacked has definitely come back around and
Alright,
is.
I
Yep,
succeeded.
yep. You got a 12. Let's hope I don't get another critical because that would be hilarious at this point. Oh, I got a fumble.
Failed.
I got a fumble. That doesn't do anything. This thing is not carrying any weapons or whatever. Please make your attack.
Hold on, I gotta remember my damage for it.
I believe you said it was a
Damage is
46.
66.
Oh, you're up to 6. Okay.
How'd you up to 6? Or did
He-
you get some leveling?
No,
That was
he
my leveling when I created my character.
he didn't get extra points or anything. He just put his points into specifically trying to get a better.
Oh, fuck that.
You have reroll
Take a
tokens.
reroll. Take a reroll.
All right, hold on. Don't roll it yet because I'm gonna play with the whole reposition of the camera thing. All right, make your roll. That is
Ooh, that's
much better.
bad, I think.
Is a 21 minus 5. Well, first 21. Knockdown is 10. So I got to roll dexterity. I'm not going to roll because it's a 20. I'm going to automatically succeed my dexterity. 21 minus 5 is 16 points of damage, which is more than its major wounds. I'm not going to roll. I'm just going to basically say that you've cleaved this thing right out of the air. It slams onto the deck, bleeding profusely. It is not dead, but it appears to be unconscious. 25 minus 16 is, what is that? 9? Let's see, unconscious 6. I'm just going
Wait,
to
I
assume.
said 26?
No, 21 damage minus 5 is 16. 25 minus 16 is 9,
Oh,
I think.
yeah. It's not.
Okay. Yeah, so that thing is effectively eliminated from the fight. We'll just take that major wound in there and call it good. The fight around you finally starts to die down as the creatures are either defeated. Well, they're obviously defeated. They're either slain and there's these fishy, froggy guts all over the place, or the few that remain dive back into the water and don't come back up.
I am, obviously I took my Tonto that I've always had.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
Stab it into the skull of the one,
Uh huh.
and the one that I cut in half, does that look like a head worth taking as a trophy, or is it too minor?
I feel like. I mean, if you want to take it as a trophy, sure. I mean, the first thing you have to do is get it off of Sir Dallin.
Right. Well, clearly I've done that, and I'd like to. But I'm saying I'm gonna also render first aid.
Yes.
But I'm also in the back of my mind deciding which trophy is better, the one that I cut the guts off of initially, or the one that's in half. In terms of,
You know, me as a player, imagining myself in that situation, I think I would take the one that the one that you killed first, because you could at least stitch back the portions that you rent asunder, and have a mostly intact body.
I was thinking less taxidermy and more frog head on the wall.
If you want less taxidermy, more frog head on the wall, then take the one that almost killed your friend.
Yeah.
Speaking of almost killing your friend, I need a first aid roll from you.
Okay. What does Sir Vitamar have a better first aid roll?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Then I'm rolling. I'm tempted to use like love of friends or something. Or not, or do I have just love of family? I think I don't have what. There is no friends. So.
You know, one thing I meant to do and I didn't. We started the discussion about having this circle of people about to die. What I had meant to do, and I forgot to put it in my notes, so of course I didn't do it, was we would have a new passion from that, it would be loyalty, circle of friends about to die, or whatever the hell name y'all came up with.
The circle of dead men.
Sure. But we didn't establish that. So in this case, you can use. Let me see what my options are here. You don't actually have a familial connection with Sir Dowling.
I don't.
You could. Yeah, unfortunately, you don't really have any passions that you could use that would be helpful here in this particular case. And that is unfortunate. Loyalty, Lord, love of family, hospitality, honor, and hatred of Saxons. None of those really apply.
Reroll tokens, so I'm just giving it back.
Oh, well, don't do that, you thief. You have a first aid of 10, so you've got a 50-50 right off the gate.
If only I hadn't just rolled a 19.
Oh, you just rolled that.
Yeah.
Well, so what happens is you. I'm gonna double check this. You don't do anything. You don't make it worse. You don't make it better. I'm gonna double check real quick.
I'm calling Vidamar over.
Hey, come take a look at this. See if I did this right, will you? I'm sorry, I'm being a little sarcastic there.
Maybe my character is too preoccupied with prying the head off.
Yeah, he's too worried about trophies and than actually helping. First aid provides immediate medical assistance to wounds. It is actually more reliable than medieval treatments to be used later in treatment. Like chirurgery, the use of the skill is important. I guess I gotta go look at injury and health. Because it doesn't specify. Because then it talks about getting glory. So let me look at injury and health in chapter 6. That is chapter 7. Chapter 6, combat. Okay, first aid. Here we go. Let's see. Can return lost hit points. Ensures that bleeding is stopped. Infection prevented. Emergency battlefield treatment is useful only immediately and shortly after. Cannot be applied to wounds more than a day old. For each use takes several minutes. 3d6 melee rounds if necessary. More serious wounds. Let's see. A fumbled first aid. Hold on. A successful first aid reduces the chance of a wound becoming infected and also returns 1d3 hit points. Critical is 1d3 plus 3. A fumbled causes more, as well as makes things really bad. It doesn't specify anything for failure. So effectively, what I'm going to rule is with that failed first aid attempt that you are, in short, ineffective at accomplishing anything. Sir Dallin will continue to bleed out. Sir Vidamar, you have the opportunity as well to.
Is there potential for me to try again, or is it just that's the best I can do?
I think this is the best that you can do, because otherwise, inevitably, you would just be able to keep rolling first aid forever.
Unless
Until
I roll a fumble and kill him.
There's specific rules on what each roll does and what you can and cannot roll. It specifies in there. You probably need to open up the section though.
Are you saying there was more that I missed? Oops.
It's like 2 full pages. There's like 2 pages and it splits across pages.
Yeah, I was. I thought I did. Let me go back in there. I am not in.
Omar can't do the splits.
All right, stop it. And you're right, I can, but stop. Tuition. Oh, I think I went a little too far there.
Oh, I also, because I took a major wound, I have to roll an immediate attribute loss.
You do. We'll get to that in just a moment. I want to read.
I just want to say, I think I'm doing pretty good at following a battle and the conversation, because in the middle of us, I've had someone asking me BattleTech lore questions. On my other screen.
God, SarnaNet people, Sarna.
Oh, Sarna is amazing.
Sarna's amazing for like lore minutia, but when you're like, hey, it says this on Sarna,
yeah, some of the
how would you rule that?
yeah, actually, some of the rules that I've looked up were not the best.
I fell below my unconscious threshold in 1 hit, which is a mortal wound, or which is
That is a mortal.
major, not a mortal.
Oh, okay. Yep. Oh God, why do I feel like I'm not in the right
So,
section. Why can't I find what I'm looking for?
damage from a single injury, blah blah blah. I immediately take the
Okay.
mini, fall unconscious. I lose an attribute, and that's it.
Oh, here we go.
I start aggravation.
I've got a side note once you finish answering this question.
I just had it a moment ago. I closed the book and now I can't find that shit. Oh, Jesus Christ! It's right here. I note that many small wounds can be taken care of using first aid, and the knight return, but a severe wound leaves him still dead. Yeah, I think ultimately the first aid is just going to stabilize and return a couple of hit points, but I think the bigger problem here is the chirurgery needed, as well as the attribute loss. Yeah, let's do that first. Attribute loss 5.3.
Oh no.
Well, this should just be.
It's only 1 point.
Yeah, it's only 1 point from one attribute based on whatever this 1d6 roll is. It's
And
not
for
like
level 6, it's none.
correct. So go ahead and make that 1d6 roll now. You
None.
done. Well played. Well played.
So I'm not dying because I have more than I still have hit points left. I'm just unconscious.
Correct.
I only get 1 check of first aid. He failed, which means I don't get any more, which means I don't wake up until my natural healing kicks in a week. Because I'm 3 points below, so my natural
Passed out
healing.
for the rest of the session.
Pretty much.
Basically, yeah.
Damn.
I am marked for needing chirurgery, so I can't actually do anything without getting treated. Otherwise, it makes it worse. And that's about it.
Yep, that sounds about right. Let me
I'm just removed from the play. At this point.
effectively, yeah. I'm gonna.
It's like I broke my arm. I can't really do much.
Yeah, I'm looking up chirurgery as a skill real quick just to see. I could probably just BS some dice rolls, but I just want to see. Oh, here we go. Oh, sorry, chirurgery. Whatever. Badly wounded, ill, debilitated, author on card application. If your character needs it.
Yeah, I am considered unhealthy.
Game master tells you.
I am incapable of taking care of myself properly, and my natural deterioration may set in unless I am actively tended by a character with the chirurgery needed skill, which is typically a female character. And it remains checked until the guildmaster approves its removal, normally after several weeks of rest. At the very minimum, the character must be conscious before the check is erased.
Yeah. So you're gonna.
Healing occurs at noon every day on Sunday. So technically, any time up at a max of up to a week, and then I get my natural hit points, which wakes me back up.
Yeah, I think here's what happens overall with the whole battle and everything. The three of you.
It actually takes 2 because my natural heal rate is 2.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna get to that.
A week and a half, up to 2 weeks, depending on how long it takes.
Yeah. So here's what happens. We immediately after this fight, people have their wounds attended to as best they can. Sir Dallin has this fishy frog thing removed from his body, and he is placed on a litter. A few people come by to check out on you, to offer whatever healing skills and make poultices and all that other crazy stuff. Apply bandages, try to close the wound off. There's even boiling wine attempted at one point. Nothing really works insofar as recovering you. You're just basically knocked out for the rest of this. For at the minimum of this, the rest of
A week and a half.
yeah. So yeah,
A week
2
plus
Sundays.
However many days until Sunday.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, let me. Jesus Christ! What? Say it. Say it.
It was less of a flying frog and more of a coma chameleon.
Oh God. Jesus Christ. How many hit points are you down to? 3?
I'm down to 3, which means it takes a full 7 days plus whatever the difference is.
So you have to. So basically 2 Sundays in order to get above your
And
unconscious
they also
value.
I have to have a successful chirurgery check. For
Chirurgery,
weeks.
but don't hurt yourself. It's
And
a
if
silly
I
word.
Don't
Surgery.
It's fine. At some point, you're gonna get recovery because here's what's gonna happen. Um,
Yeah,
the
it's either I have to do it or I take deterioration.
yeah, we're not playing all
which
that.
causes
We're not doing all that.
consequences.
Yeah, we're not doing all that. Because I said, and I'm the GM.
It's not that hard. I don't have to do.
No, you're gonna get aid. Let me tell you what happens. Jesus. Sorry.
Don't give him AIDS.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Um.
That's how it started.
So after the fight, and Sir Dallin and everybody else that gets hurt is tended to, the remaining able-bodied knights kind of start searching off into the rest of this area, trying to effectively or essentially make sure that this threat has been mitigated or minimized. Obviously there's no real good way to tell if they're all dead because, you could see 50 of these things, kill 50 of them, and then find out later that there was actually a few that managed to get away. But for all intents and purposes, it looks like what it is there is a large nesting ground nearby. I don't know if nesting ground is the right word here. Thank you. That's actually much more accurate. There is a spawn site in here. Part of the reason for the attacks, as people are putting together, is because the fishermen got too close to, home, and these froggy fish things reacted as one may expect. So that's what that was all about. And now that what appears to be the bulk of this clutch, clan, tribe, I don't know what to call this pod of fish, this school of fish, I don't know, is wiped out. And as you find eggs, there's a lot of them being destroyed.
Well, if we found the frog eggs, we could put some chemicals in the water.
Anyways, for all intents and purposes, whatever this colony of froggy fish things is, it's wiped out. There's probably a few stragglers, but they will eventually move on to safer waters. And you guys all return to the king. Merlin is not present, so he's not going to be doing any of his crazy magic healing stuff.
Okay. Well, since it did knock one of my friends into a coma, can I add or put a check mark by my hatred of magical creatures?
Yes. Because you guys did face what are called water leapers.
Water leapers.
Yes. These were the things that were obviously dealing or attacking the fisher folk.
More like water lepers, am I right? Anyway.
No, leapers.
So what is he putting a check on?
He is checking his unique passion of hatred of magical creatures. Because when you guys fought the giant and the Nukalavi, he gained that because how he ended up basically reasons that he doesn't want to talk about.
I don't want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like we need a bad touch doll for that encounter.
A what? I didn't catch that last part.
A bad touch doll.
A badge doll. Yeah. Show me on the doll. You guys receive 100 glory for this adventure. You also receive 10 glory per kill, so I believe that gives Everhart 20, Vitamar 10, and Rodance, 110, 120, and 100.
How much the adventure?
100 total, or excuse me,
Okay,
100 plus 10 for each kill.
Okay, so 120 for me.
Correct. Whoa, I don't even know what button I just hit. Okay. And that will do that. As you guys make your way back to Bath, let me grab this. Do this. As you guys make your way back to eventually to Bath, obviously, Sir Dallin Squire, once he is reunited with his master, Sir Dallin and his squire head back to Sarum and then on to. Hold on. Stapleford. Yes, Stapleford?
Yes, my female squire is indeed returning me to Stapleford.
Thank you. And I didn't even mouse over anything or look at any notes. That was straight from memory. It just took a
You nailed it.
Wow.
And I assume my wife or another resident of my town has good
Oh yeah,
like surgery skill.
you're getting all the mendings. You're getting the best hospice. I mean, hospital care.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. I meant to say.
The finest leeches money can buy.
Yes, yes, indeed. For the other two of you, when you return to the king, King Cadway fully commits to his agreement and is very thankful, very appreciative of your efforts, very apologetic about Sir Dallin being taken out like that. But otherwise is very thoughtful, very grateful. There is a feast, not a feast like feast cards and all that stuff, but there's a feast especially in Sir Dallin's honor. Um, but there is definitely a gathering of folk. The king is particularly pleased. All three of you now gain a special passion loyalty Pendragon, and it starts at 10. And you may check it as well.
Okay. Well, given Sir Dallin's um, covering for my actions at the Cyclops,
Uh huh.
at the sort of small feast, could I roll an orate to give sort of a speech detailing how valiantly Sir Dallin fought before they went down?
Absolutely. Have you already checked Orate for the year? I think you have. Yeah. But you may make an Orate roll, and you may gain some glory if you do well.
Okay.
At this rate, I think you might need to make a fairy lore book research roll with the amount of hate he's got going on.
Mm-hmm.
What?
That might not be a bad too.
Female what?
No. Wait, where did you get
It's a
female?
legend of fairy lore, dude. You hate them so.
All right, that is a success. Go ahead and award yourself 5 additional glory for the telling of the story of the fuck. What was I going to call these things? The water leapers or whatever.
I was going to ask if rather. Oh, never mind. I was going to say, could I check courtesy and see what I've already got courtesy check too?
No, I remember that. No, you get 5 for retelling the story of just basically laying waste to the water leaper's nest.
Oh yeah, but
Hey,
definitely.
I mean, he could have some hunting points for cutting its out pretty and stuffing it.
No, I think we're good there. So Everhart, you get what I say, 120 for the water leaper. Well, 125 total, yes, but 120 for the water leaper fight. Vitamar, you get 110.
Yep.
And unfortunately, Sir Dallin only gets 100. I'm actually making an effort to keep track of your guys' glory so we can have less confusion about it when we get to Winter Phase, which will be coming next episode. But before we get there,
What is my glory?
you earned a total of 125 from this episode.
It's a joke.
Jesus Christ. Everything. Not everything's a joke, Rev.
It can't be.
It doesn't need to be. Okay. Following all of that, as we move back to home, the campaign season is coming to a close. We have a couple of things I want to follow up on. Starting with Sir Everhart. Shortly after returning home, as we move closer into the harvest time, you receive notices, messages, conversations, indications from Sir Seth. As you may recall, you were attempting to set up some sort of trade deal effectively between Pitten and Ember. You received notice from Sir Seth that an opportunity has actually come up that may solidify a regularly flowing trade exchange, assuming Pitten has something in which to offer countering the pelts, hides, and leathers.
Okay. What are they seeking in trade? Is it manpower or
Uh,
food or
so everybody knows Ember has a lot to do with hides, and because it takes pelts to make hides and it takes pelts to get the leathers. I know I've realized that's not entirely an accurate statement, but I think we get the idea. There's hunting involved. There's people that do this. So pelts, hides, and leathers are produced or exported, for lack of a better thing to call it, from Ember. What Sir Seth is wanting to do, or wanting to know more accurately, what can Pitten produce that can be offered as trade? And I'm basically leaving that open to you, the player, to come up with something that makes sense for your little hamlet.
okay. Well, one thing that I would have floated or at least mentioned is so perhaps initially a straight trade for gold, but as we have a supply of leather, some of the first things I would be doing is investing in um, both leather working, like the building would be easy enough to build, like it's, but focus on finer leather working for both like saddle work and um, armor straps and various finer uses of leather.
So what you want
Refining.
is, so what you're looking for is to receive the bulk leather and then you refine it down into something closer to the final product.
Well, or refining into final products.
Yeah, they're right.
Um, Boiled leather wasn't really used as often in armor as fantasy TV shows would have you believe, but for saddles, for bridles, for
Furniture.
sword hilts and other, I mean, it would be used in like sometimes the joinery or parts of armor,
Mm-hmm.
but not the plate.
Right. Well, yeah, like because your plate pieces would still need to be strapped and held onto the body somehow.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that have a misconception of boiled leather plate being an actual type of plate.
Right. Okay, so what you want to offer in exchange for the, I keep saying bulk leather. I don't know if that's really the right phrase to use, but anyway, in order to receive the raw leather that you would then be making into something closer to a final product, you want to pay in gold.
Well, initially, with
Okay.
the potential of some sort of either profit sharing or simply gold from the profits being used of the sale of leather goods going to eventually to buy it so that they're getting gold in exchange. Now, as far as land development, the two things that I had in mind for further land development is one, we're naturally producing food. We're located in the fertile plain.
I mean, every manor has its own food production, but it's the same
Right.
amount of food needed by the people that live there in that manor.
Right. Well, and there would be some excess for taxes and other things, but so that's just the general. But common throughout that area of England at the time from Roman documentation were essentially, and it's what led to England having an industrial revolution later. That part of England, in fact, most of England had a lot of iron reserves not far below the ground.
Right.
So I would be looking for either partially used Roman shallow mines, or looking for areas that the Romans might not have tapped within my property to try to start getting some iron out of the ground. As a consummate warrior, I'm thinking I want to be behind essentially producing what I or anybody else would need. Leather, iron,
Yep. Okay.
And also aware that those items have worth to others as well.
Yes.
And if I do start creating quality leather and iron goods, at first it's just simply going to be selling ore, and then at a later point, sort of, if I have more land or whatever, the plan would be to or in my character's mind, the plan is to branch out into both iron and leatherworking and sort of be more industrial in
Right.
our production. But not only do I see that as value to my character and for the money, but it's also going to raise me pretty high in esteem of both my liege lord and the king for being the guy making weapons and armor.
Yes. Or if not making it, but at least providing some of the materials that are used in putting all that stuff together to create that final final set of armor or that piece of weapon. Not piece of weapon, but yeah.
If I get to the point where I'm refining the ore and actually making it, it doesn't make any sense to send it somewhere else. So
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
The resources are there, and the money's there. Bring the talent to us rather than selling to the talent.
Right. Okay. I think I will have a plan by next session and how to equate that as a game mechanic of some sort, so that we can start moving towards that end state where you're producing leather and iron goods and or weapons and armor in the long term. This is obviously a long-term goal. But I think the first couple of steps is, securing the leather so that you can start working it, scouting for what otherwise could just be basically considered iron mining sites, and then how to extract and refine. So by next session, I should have something for that.
Definitely want to get my hands on some miners.
Phrasing, but I hear you. Let me update my notes really quick here. See notes.
Everything does have to be a joke, Omar.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Especially that one. Sir Dallin, you are slowly recovering, and by slowly, I don't mean like something is impeding your health. It's just taking a long time. But within a few weeks of returning home, you are able to move about. You are able to participate in, various meetings or whatever. You have to pace yourself. You're not quite back up to full strength just yet.
Yeah, it takes me 5 weeks to uncheck the surgery box.
Yeah. And even then, you're still, not at full health once that is unchecked. You still have a few more weeks after that. I don't recall exactly how many hit points you have, but you've definitely got some time to go before you're back up to full fighting trim, as it were.
Might still be back up to full by winter.
Yeah, probably. Howard,
It's
go ahead.
technically 11 weeks of healing, so that's basically all summer.
Oh yeah. 11.
Just recovered from being pretty torn up themselves. Would it be considered a nice gift or an insult to send essentially like, here's some things that would be helpful for healing either
A gift basket?
themselves.
Rev's gift baskets.
With all of with half of the set being Saxon-shaped pieces.
So it would be a lot of very, like maybe some finer food, or something nice while you're stuck in a bed, or
a book of crossword puzzles.
Salves or something of that nature. The finest leeches that I get my hands on, and maybe I think your character reads, so maybe a small bound book of excerpts from the Bible.
Motivational quotes from the Bible to help with the healing body, things to keep the mind busy. When Jesus said this, consider what he really meant. I'm not trying to be terribly sarcastic when Jesus is involved, but yeah,
Healing is a frequent subject of the Bible.
it is. I imagine there's also parts where, when the body is recovering, the mind must recover as well. I'm not a theologian. I'm not a Bible expert. I'm pretty sure there's something in there to that effect, though. It may not be as well spoken of because, various reasons for mental health being a big problem in life today. Now I'm getting off track. Sir Dallin, while you are recuperating, you eventually start to receive a few reports. As I recall, you wanted to effectively send people off to find out where these rumors of your half brother came from, why they're being sent out, and by whom. You, uh, over the course of several weeks throughout the year, your efforts in tracking down the source and the reason, you've been able to ascertain that they started in what appears to be the fields around Manningford. A specific individual or group of individuals have not yet been identified, but it appears that this is where the talks or the rumors began, in the fields around Manningford.
Which is the keep where my brother is.
Is it? Or is that where Sir Omlin is?
Give me a minute. I don't remember now. Oh, great and wonderful spreadsheet. That's where Sir Amlin is married to Lady Lit. I literally just married dude off. I think. Or wait, I think I rolled her name.
You did roll her name, and it was lit, and you chose it because her name was lit. I'm yes, Omlin is, but of course,
My wife on the topic going, I have an unusual. Why would they're not any? They're a couple days away from each other. Why would rumors about him sleeping around start someplace else? I just give her the look because I know she knows politics.
that's a good question. I think she comes back with.
We just got like he's married off and everything.
I think she comes back. I feel like Lady Indeg wouldn't really know Medwin very well. I'm sure she's met him plenty of times under various circumstances or venues or whatever.
Well, you gave me three manners with an M name. I get them confused in my head.
No worries. No worries. It was unintentional as well, by the way. I feel like Indeg doesn't really get a good read on Medwin as to whether or not she would believe the rumors having any sort of validity to him. But what she will suggest is, if he is being unfaithful to his newly found wife, why would he do it near home? Wouldn't it be smarter if he were to truly try to be hiding something from us, or at the very least his new wife? Would it not be more intelligent to do it somewhere else?
Oh, yeah, I conveniently write a letter over to my sister who I asked to keep an eye on the situation by putting her in literally the place next door to see
Yes.
if she's making unsuspicious trips to Manningford.
Uh-huh.
All right. I set up my sister to keep an eye on this.
Yeah, you did. As I recall, it initially started with, "Hey, sis, I need you to keep an eye on him just in case he fucks things up because I need to make money over there."
Well, and it's more of the, look, we have a tiny family, we can't really afford anyone, even a bastard child, to ruin our reputations.
Right. And suddenly we have these rumors now. I think.
And if she says she's not been traveling over there at all, that's easy proof to.
Yeah, I think.
It's being wrong.
I think that's how you disprove the rumors. Is the fact that his travels have been only of official natures. Like, he doesn't dally, no pun necessarily. He goes to whichever manors he needs to go to, but he doesn't stay any longer than he really needs to. There's no indication from anybody that's seen and interacted with him that he has done anything. It's just that these rumors are out there. Yeah, and here he is. If these rumors are out, and the best thing that you can tell so far is that they appear to have begun not in Manningford, but around Manningford.
Well, and if I remember correctly, Manningford is even farther away from the capital, so we'd have no reason to travel through it even to come to the capital, where we would meet up for our campaign.
Right. So I think the question really remains is, again.
Should we go the opposite wrong direction?
Well, I think the bigger.
I wrote a note over my sister because she's the one who would know, because he actually has to travel through her house because her house is the one on the road and his is not.
Right. I think what it boils down to at the end of the day between Sir Dallin and all the various family members is that the rumors are indeed false. I think also that I think it could be proved sufficiently to anybody's, as far as anybody's, what's the word I'm looking for here? Burden of proof is concerned. I'm not sure if that's quite right, but I think you get where I'm going with that. That it is, the rumors are false. The bigger question still remains who and why. Who started the rumors and what was their intent? And the fact that you now know that there was a starting point somewhere around Manningford, either one of two things, and this is one of those moments where you may or may not have just passed a D&D insight roll. One of two things. Go ahead.
Is the one who's had Amlin as a knight for quite a while, so she should have some insight on his personality. 'Cause I don't see why he would try to sabotage us, since we're all collectively working under the same banner at the moment.
Yes. On that note, well, let me ask this: do you ask Indeg specifically about Amlin and his
That's
character?
what I was talking about when I went to ask her.
Okay.
I'm like, look, she's been in the political game longer. I don't understand why anyone would benefit, because this is actually ruining our reputation across all the entire board.
Mhm.
So if he did it, it'd be shooting himself in the foot.
Mhm.
Type of problem too.
Yes. And so Indeg, who knows Amlin for at least a handful of years, because I don't recall without looking
He's
how.
28, so
Oh yeah, so he's
been
definitely got
a
like
knight
6,
for at
7.
least the last,
Yeah,
last 6 years.
yeah, definitely, and probably in charge. Other than the fact that you just put him there, he's probably had some leadership experience, as it were, at least for a year or two prior to that.
No, I didn't place her knights. They came placed there.
Got it. Okay, so he's probably been there for at least a few years, if not longer. Regardless.
The other ones seem to be recent. The other banners that I placed people at were the Demands banners.
Gotcha.
Because I had to hire people for them.
Yep. Indeg, I think when you ask her about Amlin, she gives you you get the feeling that maybe she's not telling you the full story, or she just doesn't know the full story. But there's something about Amlin that doesn't quite add up. It's not really easy to nail down. That's the impression you're getting. He does have, let me rephrase that. He has served well. There have not been problems in the past. It is a little weird that these rumors would start around him. Not, I shouldn't say around him, but around his land.
Well, it makes me wonder if someone's trying to sabotage us generally, and making us point fingers at each other. So I would ride out there with my wife to visit Sir Amlin and his new wife, Lit.
And I think we can do that next week as we move into winter phase, and Sir Dallin would be a bit more recovered and more capable of making that trip.
Yeah, it wouldn't be into the fall before I even attempt.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't even travel effectively until the end of summer, beginning of fall, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And fall stuff kind of falls into winter phase, anyways.
All right, so I'm going to put in that you and Indeg will be traveling to Manningford to speak directly with Sir Amlin about these rumors. And rumors.
Stop and talk to my sister and my brother-in-law. We'd go visiting. We have to make a dedicated trip because most of our manors are well away from my home in Stapleford, which is south of the capital.
Also visiting Sister Anne Medwin himself.
I mean, what's the point of literally riding past them and not stopping to say?
Oh yeah, that's just rude. That's just rude. And basically doing a progress again of
I have to because
his lands.
I'm so far away from them. I have to visit,
Yeah,
visit at least once or twice a year.
Yeah, you have to, because otherwise they forget about you and they start.
Freaking hireling. I have to.
Yeah, and as silly as this may sound, but you have to check up on them, because if you don't check up on them enough, they'll forget about you and start worrying about their own interests, which may or may not be in line with yours. And that's not even anything. There's no malicious intent or anything. That's just the way it is. All right, so I will see about prepping something for next session for you, Sir Vermar. That takes us up to you, and so we will do your stuff, and then we'll move into closing out for the evening. First, I need you to update your manners on the share folder or Google Drive in your in your family tracking spreadsheet. I need you to adjust where everybody is. The last I saw, I believe you still had Farvel in there and Vidimar in a different manner. Vidimar needs to be moved to Winningborn, Gunnet, and obviously whatever other changes you need to make. So you don't have to do it right this second, but please do that as soon as possible, ideally tonight, because I know if you don't do it tonight without me watching, you're going to forget.
Yep.
I will say this, though. Your brother, Sir Eoric, he has been approaching you from time to time since your return from the Water Leaper escapades. Excuse me. And he repeatedly attempts to reassure you or otherwise indicate that he is not trying to be treasonous or disruptive, but he definitely has concerns regarding the inheritance of Winterborn Gunnet. He would like to ask again, are you sure that you mean to continue to support young Farwin? It took me a second to remember the kid's name, who by this point I believe is 2 years old now.
Yeah.
Again, without looking at spreadsheets, even though I have them open or easily accessible.
And Sir Vidimar is like, yes, I am at the age where I have no cause but to stay loyal to the family. I don't want to start anything this old.
We still have plenty of years left, brother. Because, of course, as I have mentioned in the past, siblings always refer to each other as their sibling title and not their name or pet names, even. That never happens. Are you sure, brother, that this is what we do? Yeah. We, the younger brothers of Faramund? Was that Farvel's dad's name?
Yeah.
We, the younger brothers of Faramund, we didn't inherit when he died because Farvel was the heir. He was a good man, but he's not here. He left us with this babe, this child. Are you sure that it would not be better for these lands, for these people perhaps, if you became their lord and stayed their lord?
Yes, he decides that this is the correct course of action.
And may I ask, do you intend marriage and children of your own? Has Vidimar gotten married? I don't think he has.
No, he's not.
Okay. I know I have all kinds of notes all over the place that would reaffirm that, but I totally forgot to look. But yeah, no. What about you, brother? Are you planning on getting married and having kids? What are you doing?
No, he just wants to live a peaceful life, man.
Okay. I have kids. And I would like to see them in a better position than what we lived. Is that too much to ask?
No, it's not too much to ask. But at the same time, hold on. Okay, so Vidimar essentially says something along the lines of, look at bettering ourselves first before thinking of rising to a higher position in terms of, like, wealth and how good the family, in like air quotes, I guess, is at managing their subjects.
You're gonna have to try that again. You lost me somewhere in there. Sorry, no, I'm trying to follow you, but it sounds like instead of doing this, this is what we should be doing, and the two this is what the same thing. That's what it sounded like at first, and that's where I got confused.
Essentially, better ourselves by making sure that you have a strong following base.
Okay. As opposed to bettering ourselves by bettering ourselves.
By taking someone's rightful place. Sure.
Okay. Eoric takes a breath and he thinks about what he wants to say next. And after a moment, he doesn't have anything to say. He simply nods and, as respectfully as he can, walks away. And by walking away, like, he gives something of a bow or head nodding or something. You know, he's not just turning on his heel and walking off, because that would be rude and also very discourteous. No matter the fact that he is only a brother, he is also, for all intents and purposes, the Lord. So he wouldn't just do that. He definitely gives some form of courtesy. It just may not necessarily be the most courteous, but he definitely walks away. And I think Vitamar would get the impression that perhaps his brother was not pleased with that answer.
Yeah.
Okay. That will do it for this night. Tell me, my friends, how'd we do?
I enjoyed it. There could have been more combat.
Could have been. I think that fight was...
I felt like there should have been.
I
Just because
Well, I think there's a player that would disagree with you.
Yeah, no.
He's like, there should have been more combat. I disagree. I almost died horrifically. And again, may I point out, from a fucking critical hit.
I was worried about using that last reroll token. I had back in mind there's gonna be a big Didgum boss roll after this.
I thought about it, but I didn't have it set up in my notes. So when I prepped this, it was originally going to be just the 3 water leapers, and that was basically going to be it. But then I'm thinking, like, as we go and tell this story, we develop this whole West End thing. There's this lake-ish, swampy bit between 2 hills.
And the fact that there's a lot of eggs afterwards.
Yeah, like I was...
Maybe thought that there would have been more fight, not just one for everyone.
Yeah, when we started that fight...
It's been there for a while. Like, it's been a rising problem. I would have thought there would have been more than myself. Like,
Well,
yeah.
Remember, it wasn't just us. It was a fairly large.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, yeah. Like, the King Cadway, regardless of his actual ranking or whatever, like, he still had probably, 8 or 10 people with him minimum, plus you guys bringing however many house knights with you, however many foot troops you have that you wanted to bring. Like, this, I think that ultimately this would have been a very big fight regardless. We just only played it out as the one-on-one. I did consider, when we started this fight, doing this one-on-one bit and then moving to like a 2-on-1 fight and letting that be the big penultimate climactic battle. And then Sir Dallin was almost eaten.
Yeah.
So I was like, we're gonna have to just wrap this up. Let's just leave it the way I originally had it, and we'll roll it from there. How do you guys feel about me attempting to incorporate the family stuff a little bit more personalized? I think.
Yeah, I'm liking it.
I don't mind it, but man, you're making it hard.
How am I making it hard?
I've sent you a PM a couple of times.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure that you got them.
I noticed I got a couple, and I just noticed that there was 2 specifically from you. I'm assuming they're the same as the last 2. I haven't looked at them yet. The last 2 being the one last session and the one prior to that.
Yeah. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no.
Did I remember?
No, you have sent me that message, and I have not forgotten about it. And I'm not sure, totally above the table right now as the DM. I don't know exactly how far I'm going to go with Sir Eorc, or even just any sort of family civil war type thing. It may just end up being that Vitamar just has to smack his family around a little bit until they fall in line and realize that this is what we're going to do. Farwin will be the Lord. Shut up and deal with it.
See, I don't know that I can even trust Vitamar right now, so...
This is true. And also, right now, you wouldn't even know, or not you, but Everhart wouldn't even know what's going on in Winterborn Gunnet unless he put spies in there. And that's just rude.
Well...
Or Everhart could also just ask.
He could. I was being facetious when I said that. Given his... I mean, it's Everhart married Melisande, which was Farvel's sister.
Yep.
So there's definitely a connection back to the house. So Melisande would probably pick up on things that, like, man, there's some tension back there right now, and holy shit. And then cue Everhart scribbling a note and trying to get it off to, I can't remember Farvel's wife's name now. Whatever her name was.
Wasn't it something like an antivirus, like Amwin or something?
No.
It
was-
was.
Oh, it was Arwen. It was like Arwen or some shit.
Arwen, because I combined.
Yeah, yeah. Or it was either Arwen or Onwin, something like that. Anyway,
No, Onwin was my squire. Or fuck, man.
anyway, it's that's not important, terribly important. But I am trying to get a little bit more personalized with the family storyline stuff, and I hope you guys are enjoying that part. Ro, any thoughts?
My poor character.
Yeah, definitely. How do you feel about the attempts at personalized storyline elements?
I think we're going to be totally ruining any planning you might ever have in the future.
I might be ruining what?
Any form of planning you might have had for the future.
Oh yeah, why is that?
I don't know how far you've planned stuff out, but I have a feeling we're going to throw a wrench in every year.
Oh, of course. That's why I only plan so much at one time, and I plan. So if you haven't noticed, especially when it comes to the family stuff, I plan a relatively small thing, and then between me and the player, I let that small thing expand into whatever it's going to be, and then I'll take a portion of that and follow up with it later in the year or in the following year, and then it's still a small thing, and it just repeats and repeats. And so eventually the storyline will develop through that. Any other thoughts or what have yous before we move into closeouts for the evening? Or not closeouts, outros.
Nope.
Questions or what have you?
Side note before I guess. Fuck. Is it done already?
What's that?
I just want to send a message to the priest name.
Osgood.
Yeah, Osgood. That I would like to speak with him again when he's available.
Okay. I'm gonna make a note and I'll prep that for next session.
Alright.
Osgood. Vitamar wants to talk to him, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. You can't flip the table. I turned that function off. Sorry.
No.
Yeah. 2 fat middle fingers right there to you table flipping bastards. I don't know. I literally just turned the option off. You can't do it. If you manage to pull it off,
You should roll it so that if we roll a 20.
there's nothing I can. I don't. It's just rolling random numbers. Why are you moving? Oh my god. All right, Talus, outro, go.
I enjoyed the game.
I see what he's doing. Oh shit.
I don't know what you want from him anymore.
Yeah, I don't know either. He's just gonna grab something else and make it go crazy because now he's angry. Rev, go ahead. Let us know your anger. Show us your hatred. Outros, please.
So there was something I was gonna say about my Merlin thing. Oh, did you like his little spat about the not liking the Denari General, so I set up some sort of rivalry in the future?
I saw that, and what the fuck is going on here? What the hell? I heard that about his stupid Denari General or whatever the hell it was he said.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus Christ, you guys! I did notice that. I thought that was pretty cool. It was cute. It was whatever. Ro, help me, Ro. You're my only hope.
Well, we're going to be back next week with another installment of Surviving Winterface.
Yes.
Maybe we'll have Captain
Was it
Wilson
next-
this time
is
to
it next?
narrate it.
Is it next?
Next session will be Winterface.
This is a quick year.
Yeah, this one definitely went by a lot faster. Mostly because,
We chose to go with staying
yeah,
on
yep,
Britain instead of going
yeah.
against
France would have had a few more encounters. But I do need to wrap things up. It is getting late. I got to get my 9-year-old towards the bed for the evening. So,
I mean, it is 1 in the morning.
well, it's going on 10 o'clock here. So, with that, thanks, my friends, for hanging out and sticking around. And hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back again next week for more Blood and Glory. And tomorrow evening, it's a surprise. You'll have to stop by and check it out. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. Pacific. We'll see what happens. We'll see what I'm getting up to. You guys have a wonderful one. Stay safe out there. And we'll catch you around next time.